Jordanian security forces at a massive refugee camp on the border with Syria are on high alert after 200 refugees turned on the guards over the camp's conditions. And as Paula Slier now reports, dealing with the immense influx of refugees is far beyond what Jordan can offer.
Exhausted and drained, there's not much for these refugees to do besides swelter under the scorching desert sun. Sheltering from the violence back home in Syria, they walked for days in the heat to get here. And so they come in numbers and under the wire. Not one person here has gone through the official borders. Instead, depending on the level of violence in Syria, as many as 1,000 people each day are fleeing across into Jordan. They're picked up from the border by the Jordanian police and brought here to this camp. And now Amman doesn't know what to do with them. The country is struggling with few natural resources, little water, and is in need of foreign aid. Their growing number is putting pressure on an already refugee-weary public.
We can't close our border in the faces of the refugees. We have to help them. Syria is like a sister to Jordan, and King Abdullah and President Assad were friends. Now our king is in a very difficult situation. What goes on there has a direct impact on what happens here.
Relations between Amman and Damascus are already strained. A number of defected soldiers and senior officers are being sheltered in the kingdom. The most high-profile refugee was the Prime Minister Riyad Hijab, who fled to Turkey through Jordan earlier this month. And then there are the tribes who are ferrying massive amounts of weapons, ammunition and sniper rifles to Syria from Jordan. Saudi Arabia is promising economic assistance in exchange for Amman's cooperation, but it could backfire.
If there is regime change in Syria and the extremists come to power, this will make problems for Jordan, where we have our own extremists, although they're far more flexible.
And so now Jordan faces the backlash of a conflict which some in the country have helped escalate. Meanwhile, more than 150,000 refugees remain stuck on its borders in what's supposed to be a safe enclave, but where food is hard to come by, toilets scarce, and not enough tents to go round, leaving some to the mercy of harsh desert conditions.
The atmosphere here is so bad. In Syria, you die quickly, but here we are dying a slow death. I wish now I'd never left to come here.
Jordan narrowly escaped the wave of uprisings that swept the Arab world. It says it's getting reforms in place. But, caught between both sides, it might not be enough to stop the Syria shockwave, however that conflict ends. Paula Slier, RT, Zaatari Refugee Camp on the Jordanian-Syrian border.